The truth behind the Spaza Shop smear campaign in South Africa. Welcome to BMTV Africa, your trusted source for in-depth stories and critical analysis on the issues affecting African communities. Today, we delve into a controversy surrounding foreign-owned Spaza shops in South Africa. These small businesses have become lifelines for many poor communities by offering affordable goods and bringing convenience to Black townships and informal settlements. However, recent media campaigns have painted these shops in a negative light, accusing them of selling expired or substandard products. But is this narrative driven by genuine concerns or a fear of competition from large supermarket chains? Let's find out. Over the past decades, Spaza shops have flourished across South Africa, particularly in underserved areas where big supermarket chains have limited presence. Run predominantly by foreign nationals from countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, and Bangladesh, these small stores have become vital to local communities. They offer affordable goods, often at lower prices than large supermarkets, and operate long hours, catering to the needs of the working-class population. However, as these Spaza shops grew in popularity, they began to cut into the profits of major supermarket chains. It's not hard to see why. In many townships, residents previously had to travel long distances to access big stores like ShopRite or Pick and Pay. Spaza shops, located right in the heart of these neighborhoods, provided a convenient alternative. This shift meant that large retail chains started losing a significant customer base, particularly in areas where people rely on the closest option for essential purchases. So why the sudden wave of negative publicity? Recent media reports have accused foreign-owned Spaza shops of selling expired, counterfeit, or unsafe products. These stories quickly gained traction, sparking public concern and prompting calls for stricter regulations. But there's a growing suspicion that this negative campaign isn't as organic as it seems. Many believe it's a calculated strategy by big supermarket chains to discredit their smaller competitors and regain their market share. Let's unpack this further. The narrative that Spaza shops sell expired goods has been amplified by several mainstream media outlets, often without substantial evidence. These accusations have led to raids and increased scrutiny from health inspectors. Yet when deeper investigations were conducted, many of these claims were found to be exaggerated or outright false. The reality is that Spaza shop owners are aware that selling expired goods could harm their reputation and their business, especially since they rely heavily on community trust. The bigger picture here involves the competitive landscape of South African retail. For decades, large supermarket chains enjoyed a near monopoly in poor communities. But with the rise of foreign-owned Spaza shops, the playing field began to level. Instead of adapting their business models to better serve these communities, some supermarket chains seem to have opted for a smear campaign. They've used their influence to push a narrative that foreign-owned shops are untrustworthy, thereby stoking xenophobic sentiments. This tactic isn't new. Large corporations often employ public relations campaigns to undermine competitors, especially when those competitors pose a significant threat to their profits. By labeling Spaza shops as unsafe or substandard, these supermarkets aim to scare consumers back into their stores. However, this smear campaign overlooks the critical role Spaza shops play in local economies. They provide employment, support small-scale suppliers, and serve areas that big supermarkets have historically ignored. What's particularly troubling is how these campaigns fuel xenophobia. The narrative that foreign nationals are selling dangerous products taps into existing prejudices, making it easier to rally public sentiment against them. Instead of fostering a fair business environment, this strategy deepens divisions and distracts from the real issues at hand, like the high cost of goods in major supermarkets and the lack of access to affordable options for low-income families. It's essential for consumers to be aware of these dynamics. When we hear stories about Spaza shops selling expired goods, we must question the source and motive behind these reports. Are they genuinely based on evidence, or are they part of a larger campaign by big corporations trying to eliminate competition? At BMTV Africa, we believe in highlighting the truth behind these stories. The success of foreign-owned Spaza shops should be seen as a testament to entrepreneurship and resilience, especially in communities often neglected by big business. Instead of demonizing these small shops, We should ask why large supermarkets have failed to serve these communities effectively